What if one of the clearest signs of how you're living your life isn't what you choose, but what you've decided is good enough? I used to say something on karaoke nights with my friends. Life's too short to drink cheap beer. But this really isn't about beer. It's about where you're settling in your life without even realizing it. And one simple question to sit with that can help you change it.
Welcome to the Live Right Now podcast with me, Allan. This is where mindfulness meets everyday life. Thanks for joining me for this reflection on living with intention. Let's talk about how we can live right now.
Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Allan, and welcome to Live Right Now. There's a line that I've found myself repeating over the years. Life's too short to drink cheap beer. And the more I repeat it, the more I realize it isn't really about beer at all. It's about choice and what we accept without questioning. For years, I had a reputation among my friends. We'd be out at karaoke night, and of course, we'd all order our drinks. My friends would get Coors Light, PBR. Me, I'd favor something local and dark. And every single time, someone would say, "Look at you, Mr. Big Shot." I'd just shrug and say, life's too short to drink cheap beer. At the time, I meant it literally. I genuinely don't like the taste of cheap beer, but somewhere along the way, that phrase started meaning something more to me. Because cheap beer isn't really a drink. It's a pattern. It's what happens when convenience starts making decisions for you. It's settling for what's easy and calling it good enough. But the cheapest beer of all isn't what you order at the bar. It's the story you tell yourself about why it's fine. I learned that lesson in a strange place, spinning records as a wedding DJ. Now, if you've ever used Every Breath You Take by the Police as a wedding song, got bad news for you. Couples slow dance to it like it's a love song. It's not. It's a song about obsession and surveillance. Sting himself has spent years wondering why people keep slow dancing to it like it's romantic. And as a DJ, I've been asked to play it at several weddings. Every time thinking to myself, do they know what this song is really about? But here's what I find more interesting than the song itself. Those couples aren't wrong. They're just hearing it through the filter of what they need it to mean. And we do the exact same thing with the voices in our own heads. We hear, I'm not ready yet, and we call it wisdom. We hear, be grateful for what you have, and we call it maturity. We hear, don't rock the boat, and we call it responsibility. But sometimes what we're really hearing is fear. The question isn't whether the voice is telling you the truth. The question is whether you've ever stopped to ask. Early in my radio career, my boss took another job. The company called me in to interview to be her replacement. Now, looking back, I'm pretty sure the job was mine if I wanted it. But I wasn't so sure. I told them I didn't think I was ready yet. The company thought I was ready. My colleagues thought I was ready. The person leaving the role thought that I was ready. The only person in that room who didn't believe it was me. I didn't experience that as self-doubt. I experienced it as maturity, as humility, as being responsible and measured and wise. It felt exactly like I was doing the right thing. The most dangerous lie in your life might sound exactly like your own voice. C.S. Lewis wrote about this in the Screwtape Letters, the idea that the enemy doesn't always win by tempting us toward destruction. Sometimes he wins simply by convincing us we don't need to do the good thing, that staying small is safe, that less is enough, that we're not ready yet. We tend to think of self-sabotage as something dramatic, a bad decision, a missed opportunity that we can point to and name, but most of the time, it doesn't look like that at all. More often, it disguises itself so well that we not only don't fight it, we defend it. We tell other people it was the right call. We might even believe it. The real victory for the enemy isn't corruption, it's resignation. Getting you to quietly agree that the door that just opened probably wasn't meant for you, that staying where you are is the responsible choice. The most effective lies aren't the ones that sound wrong. They're the ones that sound exactly like something you'd say to yourself on a good day. Pay attention to the voice that sounds the most reasonable. That's the one worth questioning. Recognizing the voice is one thing. Deciding you deserve better is something else completely. I heard something at church recently that really made me think. The pastor was walking through the story of Saul, the man who would eventually become Paul. And the moment when God asks a follower named Ananias to go find Saul, to go find the man who had been hunting down and persecuting people like him, and to call him brother. Ananias was clearly terrified, understandably. This was his enemy, and the pastor asked us to name someone in our own lives that we might need to extend that same grace to, someone we need to call brother or sister instead of enemy. And the question that hit me, the one I haven't been able to put down since, is this. How many of us, if we're being honest, would name ourselves? Not in a dramatic, self-loathing way. I'm talking about the unspoken thing, the way we extend grace to others that we refuse to extend to ourselves, and then turn around and order the cheap beer for ourselves to boot. If we talked to our friends the way we talk to ourselves, we'd probably have very few friends. Now think about the last time a close friend came to you doubting themselves, doubting whether they were ready, whether they deserved something, whether they should even try. How did you respond? I'll bet you probably didn't hesitate. You told them what you saw, and you reminded them of what they'd already done, and you told them, go for it. Now, think about the last time you came to yourself with the same question. Most of us operate with a profound double standard. One set of grace for the people we love, and a much harsher judgment for ourselves. We are simultaneously the most generous judge in the room for everyone else, and the least merciful one for the one person that we can never escape. The life you want and the life you believe you deserve are two different things, and closing that gap doesn't start with discipline or strategy. It starts with treating yourself with the kindness you'd give almost anyone else. So, here's your one thing for this week. Think of one area of your life where you've been your own enemy. One place where you've been serving yourself the cheap beer and calling it humility or wisdom or just being realistic. Write it down, just for yourself. Nobody else needs to see it. What would you tell your best friend if they came to you with that exact situation? What would you say to them? What would you tell them they deserved? What would you tell them to do? Now, say that to yourself. That's the whole assignment. Not a grand gesture, not a big life overhaul, just one honest conversation with the one person you've been least likely to have it with. Because you've been Ananias long enough. It might be time to go find that person, even if that person turns out to be you, and call them brother, call them sister, call them ready. Life really is too short, not just for bad choices, but for a small version of yourself that you no longer have to believe in. Thanks for spending some time thinking about this with me today. Until next time, stop slow dancing with the voice that's keeping you small. Call yourself ready, and remember to live right now.
Thanks for being part of Live Right Now. If you like what you've heard, I encourage you to like and follow the podcast on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform, and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration today. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, or email me your thoughts at the address in the show notes. I'm Allan Haw. Until next time, make the most of every moment, and remember to live right now.